Hello, welcome pen friends. It's time for another Chris's inked pens. It's been a long time since I've done one of these because it was toward the end of August, and then all of September I was using just one ink per day, and I was using it in my 3 review pens. But that was all I had time for because it was a challenge I set up for myself as far as doing a video a day. So I'm really excited to show you the 8 pens that I have inked up now that we're not doing the challenge and it's October. And also at the same time, the other 3 review pens are busy doing the series, the Jacques Herbin ink series, but we won't show those because you'll see those on every ink video. So, all right, so let's get to the pens. I've got my Jinhao green pen. It's a 159, and I did put a Goulet medium nib on it. So, and I'll show you the inks in just a minute when we write with each one of them. Okay, next is it's a glorious story. This is my Conklin Der Graaf Purple Nights. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. And for a long time, I was unhappy with this pen because I couldn't get the nib off to get rid of it. I did not like the nib that came on it. I think they're doing something different now, so don't let this discourage you. But because I bought the tool, the section pliers, I got it off easily with no damage, and I got the medium 1.1 Goulet stub that I already had. I put it on here, and we're cooking now. That's what I call a pen. The other nib, it was a medium nib, and I worked on it, but I could only use it with 1 ink, so. And it just wasn't to my liking. I needed to get a really good nib onto here, and I'm happy that I did. So next is the Diplomat Magnum with a medium nib, and I'm still testing this one because I want to do a little review, but I really want to run it through several fills first. And I actually have an ink in here that was from 30 Inks 30 Days, so we'll see that next. And then I have my Twizz B Go pen with, let's see, this is the broad nib, I think. Huh. Well, why wouldn't I just remember that? Probably because I just did it. Yeah, it's the broad nib. And I'm trying out a new to me ink in this one, the fall color. Okay, and then this is the Twizz B Mini. And I am actually using the gray ink that we just reviewed, this one here from the Jacques Herbin collection, and it is really good in my bullet journal. It's better than any of the other grays I've tried, so I'm excited about that. Wow, was I glad I had enough to put in there too. Okay, next, 3 new to me pens. Oh my gosh, I just feel like it's been Christmas lately. These 2 were gifts from pen friends. Oh my goodness, and you know who you are. This one, I really don't want to embarrass people, and they'll speak up if they want to, I think is the way. This is, I have to, it's so new to me, I have to look for the number. It's a Moonman M600S in this gorgeous purple. Oh my goodness. Thank you, thank you. It's just gorgeous. And it's got a, I think it said fine nib. It's confusing me because I think that it's writing a little bit more like a medium nib, but it's writing well. So there we have it. And I'll show you the inks. I'm not sure about my ink choices here because it won't make sense to you either when you see, but, and then, but we'll wait for that. Okay, so then I did get the Twizz B Eco in the purple. I was really excited about this. I toyed back and forth about it, because, you know, but it's purple. And then I asked my husband about it. I said, you know, I have to go a little bit beyond what I'd planned to spend if I'm going to get it, because there were some other things going on too. And he said, you get it because it's going to be harder to get later. So I did get it, and I got it with a stub nib, a 1.1 stub nib, and I'm super happy with it. Okay, and then last but definitely not least, another gift that came in during the tremendous month that was September. And you know who you are, and I want to just say a big thank you. This is gorgeous, and it is my first pen BBS pen. It is a pen BBS, and it says 266. So I have a lot to learn about it. I watch Chris Rapp's videos, so I've got a good place to go to learn more. But it's the first time I've ever owned one. And it has a fine nib. And it's just gorgeous. I mean, I'm just like blown away by this. I've got so much to learn though. Like about the nib sizes and what you can do in terms of swapping them and things like that. But oh my goodness, just gorgeous. So let's see how they write. I'm hoping that this setup will work. I've got a little bit of squinchy paper to keep things, or I don't know what you call that stuff. Grippy. Okay, so this is the Bond travel gear with a 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. And what I like to do is leave the one side blank, because we'll go back at the end and we'll look at how I did with those other inks. It was a long time ago. And pens. It's not like the pens don't count. They certainly do. But you know me, I'm an ink person. So let's start with the Jinhao 159. Okay, and we're going to date. Okay, so today is October 6th, 2019. I'm going to try to keep this real simple. I'm just going to do a little swatch here. This is such a wet writer. I was really surprised, actually. It's a medium nib. Jinhao 159, medium Goulet nib. And I'm not sure what you're seeing, so it's going to distract me just a little bit. With my new ink that I won on Instagram, the Diamine Sherwood Green. And I have to say, I was thinking it's either the ink or the pen, but it's quite a wet writer. And nice. I was surprised right away. Oh, well, we're just having failure here. I will one day learn how to get this right. I've practiced and tried to get a better view for you, and it does frustrate me. So this is the Conklin Der Graaf with the 1.1 stub on it. This is where the purple starts to get a little confusing, because after I did this, I realized what a nice match this ink would have been for the new Twizz B, but I was so excited about that ink that's in the Twizz B, so you'll see that in a minute. So this is the Conklin Duragraph. Purple Nights. Well, I don't have to write that. And I think I spelled it wrong. With a 1.1 Goulet stub. And in here we have Waterman Tender Purple. Tender Purple. Oh my goodness. That is just pretty. Very, very pretty purple. And it is a wet writer. Mercy sakes. Okay, so next is the Diplomat Magnum with a medium nib. And I've got kind of a seasonal color in this one. You may recognize it even. Okay, so we have Diplomat Magnum. Very smooth writer with a medium nib. And I have got Robert Oster. Fire on Fire. Yeah. Oh, I had meant to do something else. I had meant to give a little kind of a color swatch. I really think that would be nice. So let's see if I can go back and do that without destroying everything else that I've done. Who knows? Okay, this is going to make a mess, because this is a really wet writer. I managed to do that with my pinky. Okay, let me go back and get the green one. I'd like to do that too. It'll be a little lopsided up here in the corner. Whew. I don't know. I'm trying to remember if I had that experience before with a medium nib like that. Okay, so next is the Twizz B Go. Of course, that green pen is new to me, and they aren't all exactly the same, those Jinhaos. They are very good, but there seems to be some variety in what you get. Okay, so this is a Twizz B Go, the broad nib. Okay, and this is a new to me ink. It is Diamine Ochre, which was sent by a pen friend. Okay, and I think we will remember to do this. Nice, and I like this color. It's a brown. It's really seasonal, I think, kind of warm and nice. Oh, we're starting to see things. See, when the ink first goes down, it's kind of hard for you, I know, to see. Okay, so here's the Twizz B Mini. This pen usually stays with my bullet journal, so I have to be careful to have it in the right place at the right time here for this. But and I have had issues, not what I'd call pen issues, but sometimes I feel like this pen is real dry. And that's why I'm excited about this combination. Because even the Diamine Earl Grey wasn't as good in this pen. So this is the Twizz B Mini Al with the medium nib. And this is the Jacques Herbin. I'm not really good speller. Okay, it's Gray of, and I think this is a surname, a last name. So what I'm finding is that it's working out so well in the Leuchtturm bullet journal. That's the thing. And it's like, oh my goodness. Yes, of course, Chris is going to fall for an expensive ink. Okay, so next, next is the lovely Moonman 600S. Huh. Just beautiful. It's like, it's hard to write with because you want to look at it. The three purple pens are that way. They're just so pretty. Okay. I'm going to do a little scribble here. Just trying to give you an idea of the color. Okay, so Moonman M600S. Been a while since I worked with a new pen. Okay, it has a fine nib, and like I said, just to my eye, it's looking more medium, so that's interesting. And this is Taccia Murasaki. Oh, I forgot to do the little test up there. We can go back and do it. Okay, so medium nib, brand new to me. It writes perfectly. It's wonderful. Okay, let's go back and do that other one. I kind of like doing this just to see. It's not real scientific because it depends how much ink I put down and what's going on with me at the time, how much of a smear we get, but still fun. Okay, so here's the new Twizz B Eco with the stub. And this is where it gets, you know, like, well, why didn't I put in a purple that really matched? Well, it's because this was part of my excitement was, this is the ink that I chose as my very favorite from the 30 Inks 30 Days. And I wanted to see it in this particular pen, even though it's not a perfect match. And I know you'll forgive me. I hope. Okay. So Twizz B Eco 1.1. Yeah, I want to put 1.5 because we're doing that so much over on the channel. With straights, pen, Honest Ink, Boggan Villa, whoops, that should be an E, purple. There. Okay. It is a wet writer. It's almost too wet, but I don't think there could be any such a thing in my book. I'll just want to match the paper real well with what I'm doing. Okay, and then we have Pen BBS 266. And I need to look this up. I thought that I had written, or I thought in the, I thought maybe in the letter there was a color name, but I couldn't find it. So I'm gonna look that up. But isn't it pretty? It's got some blue in it too, but it's got mostly purple, and it's just gorgeous. Thank you so much, pen friend, and you know who you are. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I have returned to an old favorite ink for this one, because this has a fine nib, and I want to make sure, whoops, that I knew what kind of ink experience. I know the ink well, since I don't know the pen at all. Okay, so, you know, this is my first fill. Pen BBS 266 with a fine nib. And this is Rohrer and Klinger Cassia. Okay, things are going really good. Now, my friend, when she wrote to me, she said she was disappointed because she tried it first and that there was something wrong with the nib. Just a little bit of micro mesh, you know, got rid of whatever feedback, and so I'm super happy with how it writes. And that was almost immediate. It was just a quick thing. But this is my first Moonman of this series, or this M, and my first pen BBS. And then to get the, you know, like almost all at the same time, really, these 3 new purple pens, it's just almost too much excitement for me. But I can handle it. I can handle it. It's just, wow, so exciting. It would never happen that way usually, to get 3 new pens at once. So these are the ones that I'll be writing with for probably the next couple weeks, because I will be pretty busy doing ink reviews as well. And so those were the 2 colors. I'm just noticing that, yeah, the 2 colors that I really went crazy for. And there were a couple more too, but as far as lasting impression, these were the 2. And then, of course, I still can't quite get Sailor Grenade out of my mind either, but this purple would not leave me alone. It like chased me throughout my dreams. And then Robert Oster, Fire on Fire. And I had fully meant to do a face-to-face video about, you know, it was kind of at the end, but then my eye flared up, my problem with my eye, and I just couldn't do it. And now the timing is getting a little funny, so we'll see. Okay, let's flip back on our last one. So when I last talked to you and did this type of video, these were my pens, my Lamy Safari with a broad nib with Noodler's Purple Mountain Majesties. I fell in love with that combination. Very, very good. Just really super. And I wrote with it and wrote it dry. And then the Twizz B Go with a 1.1 stub with Robert Oster Blue Denim. It was good. It looked pretty, and it did really fine on Tomoe River paper. But the ink seemed too dry when I went to write letters. I got a B because it was good, but I think I can find a better pen for that ink, and I love that ink. Okay, so in the Kaweco Perkio with a medium nib, Diamine Earl Grey, excellent. No problems, and I kept going with that. Okay, the Kaweco Perkio with a medium nib and Tasha Midori, A+ was excellent. Oh, okay, so it was excellent until after I wrote this, I sort of, I don't know if I sprung the nib or it just is out of alignment, but it's in for repair and I haven't had a chance, and I was really frustrated because I love those 2 pens. Okay, then the Waterman's 52, the little vintage pocket pen, excuse me, with KWZ Monarch. I'm having to drink water. A+, best ever. Oh my goodness, the shading and the flow out of that, it darn near spoils me to where, oh my goodness. what am I thinking using all these nibs that don't have any flex or a variation. But okay, so next was Pilot Vanishing Point with a medium nib, Monteverde Olivine. Okay, I gave it a B, but that was just because of color preference. I found it too dark for what I wanted, the ink, and I only have that in sample, so it's just simply a preference. So then the Jinhao 301 with the extra fine hooded nib with Rohrenklinger Solferino. Same thing there. For me, personally, I gave it a B, but it was nice. It flowed well, but the nib is a very extra fine line, so I think that's what influenced that. And then the Lamy next one with a 1.1 Lamy stub with a Lamy Violet, it felt too dry for me. So I'd like to find an ink that will really go in that pen with that nib and work well. So that was the little report card. So we'll see, you know, how I do, and I'll probably be talking about these things throughout other videos too, but I thought you'd like to see what I had inked up, and it's just so exciting. It really is to have 3 new to me pens at the same time. And one, you know, I'm familiar, of course, with the Eco, but it's the first time I have had a Twizz B Eco with a stub nib on it. I've had the Twizz B Go pen, and so I'm eager to compare how that is, what the experience is. So I think that's it for now, but I'd love to hear anything about what you're doing right now with your pens and inks, and what you know, what combinations you've found recently that have worked real good. It's such a nice joy to find a combination that works really well. And that's why I like to do all the writing down and reporting back, and because I won't remember, but except for rare cases, I won't remember. So thank you very much for tuning in, for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'll hop right back into ink review mode, but it's been fun to do a couple of videos that are you know, very varied and show more broadly what I'm doing with my pens and inks. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.